It's always been difficult for Roxana and her family to eke out a living, but the pandemic has made their lives harder still. For her, not working is not an option.
It's for my family. My mum and dad have been sick and the medicines are very expensive. All we can do is go out and keep working.
Voting in Bolivia is obligatory, but Roxana will go to the ballot box with little optimism.
Even though the elections bring new authorities, the politics are always the same. They campaign, they talk a lot, but when they're in power, they forget. I believe it will always be like that.
Bolivia is striving for stability after years of political turmoil, which saw former President Evo Morales flee the country in 2019 to be replaced by a right-wing interim government. Socialists are now back in charge nationally, but it's the authorities' handling of the pandemic that now underlines every campaign promise, every political decision.
All the candidates all over the country have said they'll fight against the disease, but there are still particular problems in each region in relation to infrastructure.
The pandemic has starkly highlighted the issues that most concern Bolivian voters.
The most important is health, not just physical, but mental health too. And with what we're going through right now with this virus, we also need to be economically stable.
Medical professionals are on strike over government emergency measures to fight the disease, while the number of daily new infections continue to rise. COVID-19 has killed more than 3,000 people in Bolivia. Luis Arce, a former minister in Evo Morales' government, won presidential elections last October, organised at the height of the pandemic. His first few months in office dominated by COVID-19. The vaccines are arriving, but not as many and not as often as people would like.
It
is very difficult to buy vaccines in the world. Today it is very difficult to get them. All countries are trying to buy vaccines.
That's not what Roxana and millions of Bolivians like her want to hear. The degree of patience and understanding they have in their politicians' handling of the pandemic will be reflected in the ballot box. Schweimler, Jazeera, Buenos Aires.